Alright guys, welcome to the next video. Today, after learning the 4 basic concepts, I'll be teaching you guys how to use these in the market, how to trade, and where to execute them. So we have our 4 concepts, right? We have a breaker structure, fair value gap, liquidity sweeps, and now we just learned the order block, right? So let's take an example. I'm gonna just look around, just find something. And we see here that we have a fair value gap, right? Fair value gap, an order block, right? Order block. And we see a continuation break of structure that also creates another fair value gap, right? Now you might ask yourself, okay, so now that I have my inverse fair value gap, my breaker block, which are both bearish, right? Bearish confluences. We also have a bearish fair value gap, right? Say fair value gap bear. Now, where would we enter, right? We would enter at the 0.5 of the closest confluence, right? Because price doesn't always necessarily have to reach up. For example, this inverse fair value gap, right? Price could react it just off of fair value gap bear or just the breaker block. Although these gives us more confluence, it allows us to know where to put our stop loss, which would always be above the confluences, leaving a little space for spread, right? So we enter at the 0.5 of this fair value gap bear, and we would target sell side liquidity, right? Right here. This would be a 1 to almost 3 trade, RR. Let's take a look at another trade that involves a liquidity sweep, right? So if we were to take a look, let's see. We see here that price sweeps buy side liquidity twice, right? It takes out this high and it takes out this high. So after sweeping buy side liquidity, we understand that the draw would now technically be the sell side liquidity here, right? Because after sweeping buys, we always look for sells. Now, we see here that we have a tiny fair value gap right here, right? Fair value gap. And we see that we have a breaker structure right here. So we have the draw. We know it's lower. We have a bearish fair value gap. And we have an order block here, right? That's connected from the wick that's connected to the fair value gap to the high, which in this case, you could just put it at the screen candle instead of making it all the way up here. Now, how would we enter the trade? We would enter on this fair value gap right here, right? Our stop would be above these order block, and we would target sell side liquidity. These are how you would execute these trades and where to enter and where to put your stop loss. In the next video, we'll talk about how to calculate your lot size, right? How much risk you should be putting on the table, as well as how much or how your lots vary depending on the size of your